Right, so what is up guys, SDPeasy here, and today we're going to be bringing you my Premier League predictions. Now I know this is probably a little bit later than probably you guys would expect this, probably should have done this about a month ago. However, I wanted to see the first few games of the season and see whether my predictions would change at all from what I originally wrote in my notes a few months ago. Now, probably about 2 months ago I wrote in my notes predictions, and it's safe to say after the first 4 game weeks it's changed a decent amount, so it was worth the wait. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you do enjoy, drop a like on the video, let me know what you think of my predictions and your predictions down in the comments down below, and let's jump into my 2020-2021 Premier League predictions. Right, so in 20th, starting it off, we're going to go with West Brom. Looks like they're going to struggle. Yes, they did get a very good result, the 3-3 draw with Chelsea that they managed to get in the end. They played very well in that game, but overall, I just don't think they quite have enough to be a Premier League team. They don't seem to have signed well. They don't seem to have made much business. I was quite disappointed when they came up, really. I wanted it to be Brentford, Leeds, and Fulham. I didn't really want West Brom to come up. They're just a bit of a boring, not very attractive, not very interesting team. They don't play nice football. It's not good to watch. It's not looking promising for me. Slaven Bilic, I think you're going to struggle, and I think the team will struggle in general. Slaven Bilic probably could get sacked quite soon if they're not doing well, and I think realistically 20th is all they're going to be aimed. All they can look forward to is their fans. Sadly, it's just how I feel. I feel like you're going to be maybe even challenging Derby for that terrible points finish they had a few years, like 10 odd years ago. Maybe not that bad, but it's not looking good. Next up, another promoted team in Fulham. Kind of sad about this one because I quite like the way they play. I like Scott Park as a manager, so it would be a shame if they do go straight back down. I think this would be a good season for him if he can keep them up. That'd be a breakthrough for him in his managing roles. However, they just look too leaky at the back. Dennis Odoi looks absolutely terrible since coming up to the Premier League. Hector doesn't look the same centre-half that he did in the Championship. He looks solid and unbeatable in the Championship, but the Premier League is a different league. It's a different gravy. And he just doesn't look up to the challenge. Joe Bryan, good left back. Tom Kearney, good midfielder. Mitrovic is a good goal scorer, but will he score goals in the Prem? I'm not sure. I think they're going to struggle this year. I think they may get a good few goals, but they're just going to leak too many with that really leaky back four. They've not made any good defensive signings in the window, and in general, I've not seen their transfer business being too amazing. Hopefully, Loftus-Cheek has a good season there as a Chelsea fan, and maybe he can propel them a bit higher at the table, but personally, I don't see it. And my third and final team in the relegation places for this season is a Premier League staple now in Brighton, a team that have been around for a little while now, but I don't see it this season. I think they're going to struggle quite badly this year. I think Tariq Lamptey is a hell of a player. What a signing, and he'll probably be going in the summer. Really sad that Chelsea sold him for literally like £3 million, because he'll probably be worth like 20, 30 in the summer after the season he's having. If he can keep that up, he's going to be fantastic. They've got an okay team, but I think their time's up in the Premier League. I think they've done everything they can here, and I don't think they're good enough to stay up this season based on the other teams around them. Just think they're going to struggle. I think it'll be close with some of the other teams that I've put in maybe 17th and 16th, but for me, Brighton just don't have enough to be a Premier League team. They don't have that power, and Lallana I thought was a good signing, injured in his first game. Yeah, it's not looking promising. Don't see a lot of hope for Brighton this season. Maybe I'm wrong, but for me, relegation. It's a sad thought, but it's reality. Next up, we have a team who probably didn't deserve to stay up last season. They obviously stayed up by that non-goal against Sheffield United with a goal on Tottenham messed up. They're probably going to stay up again, but by the skin of their teeth again. I think it's going to be tight again down there. They could be higher. Hopefully they will after their 7-2 demolishing of Liverpool, which I'm sure we all really enjoyed watching. Have a lot of fun. And obviously watching Tottenham beat Man United on that day. It was a pretty good day. I was enjoying it a lot. I had a lot of fun that day watching those results, especially as Chelsea won that weekend. It made me feel really good. It made me just feel nice inside. But do Villa have enough stay up? In my opinion, yes. Grealish will have a good season again. Could be the most pivotal player in that team. Tyrone Mings will be good at centre half again. Him and Ezri Konsa look very good as centre backs, and I think the signing of Martinez as a new goalkeeper is a very positive signing. I think that's a massive improvement on Neelan, their old goalkeeper. Their midfielder McGinn and Hurahan looks solid. I think Barkley is a good acquisition for the team, and Ollie Watkins could score a lot of goals. So maybe I've been harsh on Villa here, and maybe 17th is a tad harsh. But they're the kind of team that are always down there. So maybe 15th, 16th, you never know. But Villa, I've gone 17th. I think you're definitely going to stay up, and you could even be higher. But we'll see. Next up, another Claret and Blue team. London's response to Claret and Blue, which is West Ham. I think they're going to be okay this year. I think they got 16th. I know that looks ropey, obviously down there with the relegation, but I think they're going to be okay. I think there might be a little bit of a gap between relegation to the next teams up. I think Villa, like I say, Villa could do better. West Ham could do better. I think there might be relegation bottom three will be pretty obvious from sort of sort of 15 games in, and then there'll be a little sort of maybe 3 or 5 point gap up to the next team. So it's sort of a gap that you'd be comfortable with as a team. West Ham, good team, good start to the season, a lot of good players. They've done well to keep a hold of Declan Rice. As much as I don't think he's good enough to maybe be this top 4 player that everyone thinks he is, they've done well to keep a hold of him, and he'll help the team massively. He's probably their best player, and Antonio is very good as well. Jared Bowen looks to be having a good start to the season as well, which is positive for those. So I think 16th will be a good season for those. Hopefully they'll be finishing higher in. Obviously their fans will be hoping to finishing higher, but I've gone for 16th with those, joining the Claret and Blue of Villa in 17th. Clearly, when I made these predictions, I was having a bit of a thing for Claret and Blue. We've got West Ham, not West Ham. We've got Villa, we've got West Ham, and now we've got Burnley. Sean Dyche's men, 15th for those would be a good position for me this season. He always just seems to get the job done. Now, they're always sort of down there worrying, but Dyche, what a manager. Around from where I live, literally where I live in like Kettering, he used to manage the Oz Lodge teams up the road from where I live, which is kind of mental. And I've met him before. He's a sound guy, lovely bloke. And he always just gets the job done. Burnley are that kind of team. You don't want to go to Turf Moor. Solid ground. You don't get results there. You don't want to go there. It's a nasty place to go. Fans or no fans. You don't want to go there. You struggle to get points there. I think they're going to do well this season. I think they'll always be down there, but I think because it's Sean Dyche and he just gets the job done for them, you never really have to worry about them. Like, they'll probably be in the bottom 3 at some point, but then they'll get like 4 wins in a row and be easily out of it. That's just the kind of team they are. But there we go. Little Claret and Blue, little section there. Didn't even realise that when I made the league. Only just realised that now. But Burnley, 15th. Next up in 14th, we have Southampton. Another team who a very good end to last season. Obviously, Danny Ings. What a player he's going to be. I think he could easily score between 15 and 20 goals again this season. I really hope he does. He has started off well and looks to be very promising. I know the manager was under a lot of pressure, but I think he'll be alright. I think he'll stick it out through the season. 14th, I'd say, would be a good finish for those. Che Adams could chip in with a few goals this year, which would be nice for him to finally be able to get his form back and get some goals going. They've got a good team in general. Ward-Prowse, good midfielder. I think the loss of Højbjerg is a big loss to their midfield. However, they have got players in there to cover it. It's just not quite the same as Højbjerg, though. But I think they'll be okay. 14th looks like a good finish for those this season. And I think as a Southampton fan, you'd be happy with that. Danny Ings probably, like I say, scoring 15, 20 goals again. What a striker he is, and hopefully makes it into the England setup for the World Cup team. Clearly, I was having a thing for themes. We've gone from Claret and Blue to red and white. The red and white stripes of Sheffield United up next. Chris Wilder's team. Fantastic season they had last season. I think they'll just continue that. 13th, I know it looks a bit low, but realistically it's not. It's pretty much mid-table, which is what I expect of them, and what probably more than what they are expected of. Realistically, they're a team that would probably expected to go down, so I think mid-table would be fantastic. He does a fantastic job there, Chris Wilder. He's really brought that team through the ranks. They're a fantastic unit. They've got plenty of goals and a very solid defence. A defence that everybody seems to want to buy. The defence is brilliant. The loss of Dean Henderson in goal obviously will be a big loss, but I think the signing of Aaron Ramsdale from Bournemouth was a hell of a signing. I think he'd be a very good goalkeeper, and it almost be a very similar situation. Obviously, losing Henderson to Man United, big loss, but Ramsdale looks a good signing. The defence, obviously, fantastic, very good attacking options, and I think 13th in general for Sheffield United. Chris Wilder's men, they'd be pretty happy with that. Next up, in 12th, we're moving back across to London for Crystal Palace. I think they're going to have another good season. Zaha looks to be on absolute form of his life, and hopefully he is, because he's probably one of the best players outside of the top 6 teams, and I really hope that he flourishes this season. Townsend looks to be coming back into a lot of form as well, and overall, Eze, fantastic signing he looks to be, young player from QPR. Mitchell seems to be a good cover-up at left-back when Van Harnold comes back in. They'll look solid. Cahill and Sacco look good at the back with Kouyaté in there as well, and Guaita is one of the best lower-rated keepers in the league, in my opinion. He's a fantastic keeper that's outside top 6. All round, got a good team. Really hope that hopefully Zaha can maybe get 15 goals in the Premier this season for them. That would be fantastic for him and his form. Maybe he'll get his move away from Palace then to a bigger team. You never know, but Palace, I know they want a lot of money. Hodgson doing a fantastic job. They're a proper reliable manager, a very respected manager in the Premier League. I can only see them doing well this season. Only good things coming to the team. Hodgson is going to do a fantastic job, and I think maybe, with the result against Man United, maybe 12th is harsh. Maybe they can finish higher. We'll have to wait and see. Right, so rounding out the bottom half of the table, we have gone for the other newly promoted team in Leeds. I think they're going to be very good. Marco Bielsa, fantastic manager. Seriously, what a manager he is. He really has brought this team to life. Brought them back to the Premier League where they belong. They're a big enough club, big enough team to be here, and it's a shame they weren't here. But now they're back, and I think mid-table is something easily achievable, especially after the performance against City. Obviously, Guardiola stating how good of a manager he thinks Bielsa is and the respect he has for him. And I think that is widely renowned from all managers, the respect they have for this guy. He's fantastic. The team he's got, very good. He's got a lot of very good young talented players. Helder Costa looks fantastic. Bamford, as much as I don't like him, he's having a good start to the season, getting a few goals. Harrison on loan from City, a very good signing. They've got a solid defence. The keeper situation, little bit ropey. Hopefully they can maybe sort that out with maybe a keeper from the one of the lower leagues in this last bit of the transfer window. But you never know. I think Bielsa is going to really lead this team into some very good success. Probably go far into the cups as well. And 11th, yeah, I know what, that would be really good. And I know quite a few Leeds fans that would be very happy with that finish in the league. And I think that's very achievable. Right now, in 10th, I'm going to put a team in there that might be a tad controversial. I've not seen anybody really talking about them in their videos. Maybe a lot lower down. I'm going to go with Newcastle. Now, obviously, there was talk of that massive takeover of the club. They were going to sign Mbappe and Ronaldo and be the best team in the world. Obviously, that didn't happen. However, they've still made a good transfer window out of it. And I think Steve Bruce is a very good manager. I think Wilson and Fraser coming in is only going to boost their attack to even more goals. I think defensively they were pretty solid anyway. Dubravka's one of the best goalkeepers in the league, in my opinion. Certainly probably the best outside top 6 teams. What a keeper. He could easily be a much better team in the league. Could easily be looking at a bigger deal if some of the keepers in the higher teams are struggling. Fantastic goalkeeper and a fantastic team all round. I think Wilson's going to score plenty of goals from this season, and I think they're going to do really well. I've been very impressed with them so far, and I know there was obviously a big knock to the fans not getting that big takeover they were promised. However, I think they're going to do fantastic. I think they're going to be highly underrated this year and prove a lot of people wrong. So I've gone top 10 and I think 10th. What a season that would be for Bruce and his men. Next up in 9th, we're probably going to go for the biggest underachievers and bottlers of last season in Leicester. Easily should have been 3rd or 4th in Premier League and got Champions League spots without even a shadow of a doubt. It literally was so easy for them. They were so far ahead. It was in their hands, and how they blew it so badly was beyond me. It's just mental to think they didn't even get Champions League last year. Kind of crazy that's happened, but it has, and I think this year they'll return back to sort of a normal position. Maybe about 9th is what I've gone for. Vardy is obviously probably going to score 20 plus goals again this season. Schmeichel, good goalkeeper. Soyuncu is very good at the back for them. They've made some good signings. Castagne, the new right back. I know obviously when Pereira comes back in, Pereira will probably go back into the team. But Castagne looks like a hell of a signing. They just look very good overall. They probably waste too many chances for me to be higher in the league. However, 9th I think would be a good season for those guys. I think Brendan Rodgers will do a good job with Leicester again. Good manager. And he's making a good team out of them. They're becoming a challenging team for top teams to play, not just sort of the joke that won the season once. They're doing well, so I think 9th would be a good finish. Next up, we're going for Nuno Espirito Santos' team. A fantastic manager, a team that I really like, and a manager I really like in Wolves. What a team that is. They are fantastic. They are flying high again this season. I can only see them being highly successful. Connor Cody at the back, what a centre-half he is. Ruben Triso makes a lot of very good saves for them. I think the loss of Doherty looked like a big loss. However, bringing in Nelson Semedo from Barcelona, what a signing that is. Their defence, almost as if it hasn't lost a player. What a player he is. Bringing in, obviously, the likes of Neves and Moutinho as well, with Adama, Traore and Jimenez going forward. These guys are going to score a lot of goals. I think the loss of Jota will be quite important for them. However, they've signed a lot of young players, and Podence looks like a hell of a signing. I know, obviously, they're going to come back from this international break, and Nuno's probably literally just going to have Connor Cody, so all the Portugal players are going to have Rona from, obviously, Ronaldo. However, what a team they're going to be. I think they're going to be challenging for Europa League spots this year. I think they'll just miss out based on the other teams performing a little bit better than them this season. However, another solid season for Nuno, another fantastic Wolves team, a team that are very enjoyable to watch and will get a lot of fantastic results. Probably shock a lot of teams, probably get results against the higher teams in the league as well, which is always good to see. Next up in 7th, we're going to be going with Everton, a team who probably have one of the best transfer windows in recent time. Their transfer window has been ridiculous. Ben Godfrey looks a good signing at the back, but their midfield has upgraded tenfold. Some world-class signings in there. Got Allen, Abdullah Doucouré and James Rodriguez. Those three look like they're going to be absolute ballers in the Premier League, really running that midfield. And with Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin in front of them, I can only see goals. Of course, they're the only team still with a 100% record in the Premier League, winning 4 games of 4, 12 points on the table. Calvert-Lewin winning Premier League Player of the Month. They look a unit this year. I think, don't get me wrong, don't get overhyped and think they're going to finish like top 2, top Champions League. They're not that good. However, Ancelotti has really got those guys firing this year, and they look a solid force. I think with Pickford being the main reason that they can't challenge the top 4, just because He simply isn't good enough. I think Olsen coming in on loan as a keeper will provide him some competition and hopefully put buck up his game a bit. Obviously, he was at fault last night against England and he makes too many mistakes for me. However, Ancelotti, a fantastic manager, I'm sure can get this team really working. The 7th Europa League spots would be a hell of a season because they've been missing that recently, and obviously they used to be the force that used to challenge for the top 4, so hopefully they can get back to the old days when David Moyes was in charge, and I think Ancelotti is the right man for that job. Next up, 6th place, Europa League. We're going to go for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta's team look like they're going to be fantastic this year again. They've won 2 trophies, yeah. However, we need to have a chat. Our Arsenal, yes, they seem to get results. Yes, they seem to score goals out of nowhere, but they're not a very good team. Like, they don't play very good football. They just seem to get scrappy counter-attack goals. I can't be the only person that thinks that. I know that some of my mates agree with me on that. I don't know how they do it, because they actually genuinely don't play good football, but they always seem to scrape results and get goals. I don't know how they do it. Obviously, Aubameyang's a big help in that. Probably going to be up there with Premier League top goal scorer again. Probably 20-plus goal season for him once again. Probably the best striker in the Prem at the moment, up there with Kane and Aguero. They're not going to be the top team of the main 3 in London for me. They're going to be last out of the 3, which is going to suck for Arsenal fans again. However, I think Europa League spots will be a good season for them this year. Don't get fooled by their early results. I think top 4 is still way off of their ability. They're still too leaky at the back for me, and Arteta's not had quite his time to bounce his philosophy into the team enough yet for me. However, I think they're going to do well, and I think Leno will be a big improvement this year as well in goal. 6th would be good. Right, next up, controversial one. Manchester United outside of the top 4. Lots of people are going to disagree with me on this one. I've seen a lot of people think they're going to challenge for the title this year. But for me, they're miles off it. They're so far off the pace, it's a joke. Yes, their attack is fantastic. However, it should be better. They don't have a right winger. Greenwood is simply not good enough to be like a Premier League winning team. He's just not. He would be a good player for the future, but for now, he's not good enough to be that right winger starting for Manchester United, one of the biggest teams in the world. Why they didn't just spend the money on Sancho is beyond me. They literally only had to cough up like an extra 20-30 million pounds. They had to just buy him. The Glazers have got it wrong. Ed Woodward's got it wrong. The club they've had a poor transfer window. They've brought in Donny van de Beek, he's a very talented player. However, he's been on the bench every game so far. He's not even making the team. Kind of crazy decisions from Ollie for me. Maguire, sorry, but if you still think he's a good centre-half, you are blind. He is poor. He's so poor. Makes mistakes in every game. I know he's going through a tough part in life at the minute, obviously, with what's happening on and off the field. But for me, I find it funny because I don't like him. I don't think he's very good. 80 million was the biggest daylight robbery I've seen in a very, very long time. For me, he doesn't get into any other top 6 teams' defence, not even Arsenal's. Doesn't get near them. He just doesn't. He's not good enough. Him and Lindelof is not a good enough partnership. David De Gea makes far too many errors. I think Telles was a good signing at left back. However, Cavani is a terrible panic buy. Only can see him flopping. And this young lad who's coming through in January that we don't even know what his name is yet. He doesn't have a visa. Spent 40 million on him. That 40 million could have just gone towards Sancho. Crazy business from Man United. And Ollie, for me, not the right man for the job. Not good enough to manage Manchester United. For me, could get sacked this year. Next up, top 4. Crucial spot for the Champions League. Of course, we have Tottenham. The man that Man United should have kept in, Jose Mourinho, made a big mistake on him. And if you think he's a washed-up manager, then you probably don't really know much about football. You don't watch football because this man is fantastic. He's going to be a big thing for Spurs, in my opinion. And that says a lot because I didn't like him at Man United because he went to Man United and because he's been to Tottenham. It's hard for me to like him, even as a Chelsea legend he is. I love him to pieces, but I hate him at the same time for doing what he's doing. However, doing a good job at Spurs. Made a lot of very good signings this year. Højbjerg looks to be a fantastic signing, shoring up the midfield. Doherty and Reguilon at right and left back were places that you need to improve, and he's made those improvements. Gareth Bale, is he going to be at his scintillating best that he can be when he comes back from injury? We'll have to wait and see on that. I'm not sure, but either way, he's going to score goals and going to provide chances. Kane and Son look to be in the form of their life. Can only see it going well. They had a ropey start against Everton, but Mourinho, for me, is the man for this job. Could win them trophies, probably won't, because it's been far too long and they don't know how to win a trophy. But for me, 4th place would be a good season for them, because they haven't been really at it. And I think Mourinho has taken over and done a fantastic job. They've really improved them since Pochettino really left them in a hole. And if you don't think that, you don't know much about football, really. But Tottenham, top 4 for me, much better than the 2 teams below them. They're going to be far improved this year. However, still not the top team in London. Because for me, 3rd place, that is of course going to be Chelsea. My team, what a window we've had. Timo Werner on the cheap. Havertz, I mean, I know Werner's not scored yet, but he will. And I know if you tell me that Havertz has been a flop, so I've seen this a lot. Disgraceful. You don't watch football. He's played 8 games this year. He has 8 goal contributions. What football are you watching? Well, what are you watching? He's got 4 goals and 4 assists in 8 games. What football are you watching? You tell me he's a flop. You can't. You're wrong. You're just wrong. Chilwell, hell of a debut. Really impressed with that signing. Mendy's looked good so far. Thiago Silva, yes, he made that mistake against West Brom, but in the next game, absolutely brilliant. Completely bossed the defence. Thought he was fantastic. Ziyech obviously coming in will be a big improvement going forward as well. Reece James is having a hell of a start to the season. Really fantastic right back. Certainly pushing for an England place and was England's man of the match last night by a clear, considerable margin. I think good things this season. Pulisic actually coming back from fitness. Once they're all playing together, which hopefully they will be soon, you can see us firing on all cylinders, scoring a hell of a lot of goals. Lampard looks like he's doing a good job there. And the business this year, like all the players that have come in have said, it's because of Lampard. Does Ollie have this Paul? Where's Sancho? He doesn't have it. It's not there. Chelsea, for me, could be challenging for second this season. However, I think we're just probably maybe a centre-back off of challenging for the title. So we're not quite there yet. Next year, I think, is the year we challenge. This year, I'd take third, probably challenging second. And as much as no one wants to see this, I think it's inevitable. Man City in second. They've not done enough in the window. They simply haven't done enough in the transfer window. Fernand Torres, is he going to be good enough? We don't know. This Ruben Diaz seems like a panic buy at centre-back because they couldn't get Jimenez or Koulibaly. Will he be any good? £65 million from Porto, or Benfica, sorry. Will he be any good? He needs to be good, and he needs to be good quick because they're leaking far too many goals. Him and Laporte need to have a hell of a partnership if they want to challenge anywhere near the title this season. They just don't look quite at it, and with the minute with both strikers injured, they're struggling for goals. I'm not sure. For me, City have not done enough. Pep, his main focus again has got to try and be the Champions League, which I don't know if they're good enough for. But obviously, I want him to win it because I like Pep as a manager, and it'd be nice if he can get City there. Because obviously, that's all he's been trying to do. He's obviously done the Premier League now. He's done every other trophy. Can he get the Champions League? I think this could maybe be the year. Premier League, yeah, still too far behind for me. I think the gap won't be as big this year, but there's still going to be a gap to you know who. Pains me to say it because I hate them, and I think most of us do. But Liverpool will win the league again this year. The signing of Thiago is a hell of a signing. It really is a massive improvement to that team. He's just going to be brilliant. For Bayern, he's obviously won the quadruple. He's just fantastic. What a player. Really a hell of a signing for Liverpool there. Fantastic bit of business. The fact that they've kept the rest of their players and Klopp still looks to be ready to go. I know they've lost 7-2 to Villa. However, just seeing that be a minor blip, really. I know they've not started well, but they're always just going to kick on. For me, they're the best team in this country and probably one of the best teams in the world, which is hard to say because I really don't like Liverpool. But sadly, it's true. We have to admit it, that they probably are going to go back-to-back champions. It's going to be horrible to see. No one wants to see it, and we all hope it doesn't happen. But I think it's inevitable. And I think we need to congratulate them already because I don't see anyone else being close. But there we have it. There is my Premier League predictions. Brighton, Fulham and West Brom to get relegated. The Europa League spots to go to Everton, Arsenal and Manchester United. Top 4 to Tottenham, Chelsea and Manchester City. With Liverpool being the Premier League champions again. So there we have it. Premier League predictions done. Let me know what you think of my predictions down in the comments. If I've got any badly wrong in your opinion, let me know. And also let me know who you think will win the league, your top 4, your relegation. Let me know your predictions down in the comments below. And if you've made a video, link me the video and I'm sure I can go and check it out. Join the Discord server. We've currently got about 20 members in the Discord server, so make sure you do join that. That's going to be top link of the description. We talk all about my channel. There's loads of other really cool YouTubers in there that can help you out with your channel. And anything you want to see YouTube, there's loads of us in there. Really, really supportive community. Come and join it. It's really sick in there. And obviously I'll talk to you all the time in there. Just a nice way to communicate with my fans. Thank you very much for watching. Drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here, because there is 70% of you that still aren't subscribed to watch my videos. Mental. Make sure you subscribe. We'd be on like nearly 5k subs. It's kind of mad, but make sure that you do. Thank you very much for watching. You guys are amazing. Thank you for your recent support.
I wanna take it all in, I'm falling. The cityscape by night, wanna catch in my photos. Where you go, every corner twice as bright. They'll be my treasures forever when I can't